Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Toon Review YouTube channel, where tonight it is Newcastle United versus Leeds United match preview, and I've got Adam with us tonight. Good evening, buddy.
Good evening, Paul. Thank you once again for having me on. I mean, I'm excited.
Pleasure, mate.
I really am.
Yeah, this should be interesting, given the absolute bollocks that we heard from Steve Bruce earlier on. We will come to that as well, obviously, because there's certain things that he has said today which have... well, I'm just bewildered with, to be honest. It's pushed me over the edge with regards to listening to this absolute fucknut on a weekly basis, coming up with the same old shit. Tom Dixon, if we lose tomorrow night, Bruce has got to go. His press conference today, I just had to turn it off. I'm just sick of our manager. He needs to go 100%. Paul says, evening, lads. Steve Bruce is a twat. Paul says, I hope we lose tomorrow night so Brucey boy will fuck off. Yeah. Sick of all his arrogant bullshit. Brucey's press conference was a total joke. When asked about why he went on holiday, he just gave a bullshit lying answer. Hey up, you sexy sods. Good evening, Judy. Hope you're well. Danielle, good evening. Eat, sleep, get Bruced, repeat. Let me off this ride now. Tuna says, Paul, have you seen Newcastle have our Sunderland staff to work tomorrow's game? If we go a goal down tomorrow, I'm climbing over seats. Flares, tennis balls, whistles mixed with drunk people, so toxic. Did you hear that one about Sunderland?
I haven't heard that one actually. What was that about? Asking
Sunderland staff to come and work the game tomorrow. The whole thing is it's just a mess. My YouTube's going a bit mental because it said nobody was watching, yet I had 0 viewers, yet I'm getting loads of comments. So it's gone up now. So that's put my mind at rest. I thought we were just talking to ourselves there. Good evening, Michael. Jake, good evening, matey. Hope you're well. Old school top.
Oh, yeah.
That's the old goalkeeper's top, that one, isn't it?
Yeah, I got the Time Bridge just underneath the badge. You can't see it.
It's a classic. It's a classic. Jake says, bye, heck, I'm nervous. Need this win. You've got now to be nervous about, pal, if you've seen the debacle in Newcastle today. The only way Bruce will go is actually giving him a check and a P45. Just seeing you reminds me of Pavel and Happy Times in that top. Yep. Hi, Paul. Are you both just ticking along tonight? Dave, don't get me started. Don't get me started because I'll the rage. I'm quite calm at the minute, but as soon as I hear this guy's voice again, let's just Leeds fans plus Sunderland staff. We've got no identity. Yep. Good evening to Ryan. Good evening, Layla. Here, mate. I'm going to Leeds and want to meet you and say hi. Anywhere you specific hang out before the match. Just along from the club shop is normally where I'll be doing me sort of pre-match interviews and stuff along with PD Proudluck. So it's just where the Castore shop is, just on the end there. That's where I'll be. So just come and say hello. Now, I hope you're well, Paul. Loved your passion on your last video. Well, passion will not be a word I'll be using if I do my review on Saturday and we've lost. It'll just be, rage and swearing. Danielle says, we have been managed by the biggest monumental bell end going, man. Why is this happening? Ticking along, man. Jesus Christ. Truly embarrassing presser today. Apparently there's apparently there's too much media and it's their fault. We all think he's a monumental bell end, not due to the fact that we actually have eyes. Exactly. What is Ashley doing starting a war before he leaves? Well, it seems that way. Right. We're getting to a few comments of what he's come out with. I do have some audio from him as well. But this is what he just sort of told reporters before he went into the audio. Ahead of the Newcastle Leeds game, Steve Bruce said, everybody has come through last weekend. We had 1 or 2 knocks towards the end, but thankfully everyone's okay. Unfortunately, it's a bit too soon for Callum Wilson, John Joe Shelby, and Paul Dummett. Nothing really surprising there, Adam?
No, I mean, everyone knew Callum Wilson wouldn't have played them all. And in terms of the other one, I mean, one thing that just really ticks me off about Newcastle, how are players getting injured week in, week out for this club, man? These are Premier League professional football players, not just Sunday League players. I mean, listen, I don't play football much, but I actually have better ligaments and better muscles than these Premier League football players. It baffles me. How are we getting players knocks every single week, man? It's an absolute joke. I mean,
mate, I played ice hockey for 20-odd years, and I don't have the injuries that they have. I've had broken jaws and broken wrists and stuff like that, but I never seem to have the muscle injuries that these guys have got. And when you're on the ice, you're turning just as quick as they are. You know what I mean? You've got to make immediate turns, and so that puts pressure on your knees, your muscles. I've never known a club be in this situation before. On Ryan Fraser, he said he's trained the last couple of days and put himself in contention. Thankfully, it wasn't as bad as everyone thought when he was on crutches and in a boot, but he's okay. I still don't think he'll start tomorrow, Adam.
Yeah, I agree. I think we're playing mainly the same squad from last week. There might be one or two changes in there, but yeah, Fraser starting the bench, but I think it'd be a great impact. So obviously he's match fit, but no Newcastle, he's probably not match fit.
Well, yeah, I mean, you'll put him on with 2 minutes left when we're 3 goals down or something, expecting a fucking miracle again. On the start of the season, he says we were 20 seconds away from beating Southampton. We were 2-1 up against West Ham and haven't been able to see it through. There lies the frustration, of course, because we are judged on results. We need a big performance on Friday and win the match. Now, Steve, what I'll say to you there is we were 20 seconds away from beating Southampton until our captain, who is a terrible defender, in my opinion, decides to not mark Adam Armstrong, but leave him in loads of space, then realise he'd crept in behind him, and then he brings him down for a penalty. West Ham, we were 2-1 up at half-time and doing quite well. And then your fucking team talk was the one that destroyed that. So, yes, Steve, we are going to point the finger at you, not the media. We don't, the media, yes, they've got their own opinions and stuff like that, but it just so happens that the media are now sharing the same opinions as the fans, or at least the local ones are. The Chronicle are speaking the truth about you. You are a prick, an arrogant prick. Anyway, Dubravka, he's coming on nicely. The wound, which was badly infected, is gone. He's hoping to be back out on the grass next week, which is good news for everyone. Yeah, it is. But tomorrow, Adam, I mean, goalkeeping-wise, a lot of people are saying that they'd rather see Darlow playing the under-23s for a couple of games. I don't think that's quite as important as, for a goalkeeper as it is for an outfield player. I think, the training that Darlow does, the experience he has, he should be able to come straight back in.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, first game back, I imagine some of the shots you see might make a dodgy save now and again, but that happens to a goalkeeper. You had to come back at some point. So,
yeah.
But tomorrow's game, if we start Woodman tomorrow, we will absolutely kill his confidence because we have faced the most shots in the league. We conceded 12 goals in 4 games. He is clearly struggling with that defence because the defence is not good enough to help him out. Mm. I mean, with Woodman, he's still a young goalkeeper. He needs time to sit in the side because as a first choice keeper, he's not good enough at the minute for Newcastle now. It's that simple. He needs someone like Darlow the back who will generally keep winning games. Woodman will not do that.
Yeah, definitely agree. I mean, don't forget, he also came out with there's only 5 or 6 teams who scored more than us this season. I mean, I don't know what planet this guy's on. I really don't. He's clearly not on the same earth as we are. I don't know where he flies off to on a night time when he's finished with the training or whatever he does at the training ground, because he obviously doesn't do much of that. Matthew Raisbeck also put on Twitter that he said to BBC Newcastle and Paul Dummett, he's had a setback just when we thought he was close, and he was back training. He's uncomfortable again, and it's the same calf injury. I mean, this is what you were saying, Adam. It's just muscle injuries. It's what are they doing? I mean, obviously we know we don't have the facilities to sort of, get these muscles repaired properly because we haven't got the training ground or the facilities to do that other Premier League clubs have. And it's taken its toll as to why we are getting so many muscle injuries. Dummett comes back, he goes into training, and then he's down again with the same sudden muscle.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. I generally think these physios must just go on Wikipedia and just look at how to treat muscle injuries because they haven't got a clue. Yeah. Every single player at this club is practically injury prone. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. A guy like Callum Wilson, if he can stay fit a full season, that's a 20-25 goal season striker there. He can't even play 3 or 4 games, man. It's absolutely shocking. It baffles me. It really does. Alan Sumac, he goes down all the time. It's the same with every player. I mean, it's a farce. It's an absolute farce, Paul.
Yeah, it is. And finally, on who plays in goal against Leeds, the hardest part of my job has always been, over the last 20 years, picking a team. There's a decision to be made, and I'll make that in the next 24 hours. I mean, again, has he told the goalkeepers behind the scenes who's playing? I mean, does Woodman think he's playing? Does Darlow think he's playing? Or has he actually had a conversation with the goalkeepers?
I mean, I don't even know. What do you mean last 20 years? I don't understand that. It's not that hard. Woodman has made an awful mistake against Man U. Like I've said before, he is struggling. get Darlow back in, because now he's match fit. I mean, what's so hard to understand about that?
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
Yeah, again with Steve Bruce, though, I mean, every single week you see the players not even talking to him. They go to Graham Jones. They couldn't give a shit about Steve Bruce. I mean, he's not a leader. These players don't look to Steve Bruce to be a leader. I mean, he's an absolute joke. He's stealing a living. He's a parasite. What does he do with this football club?
Yeah.
He does nothing to help us out.
Yep, very well put. Ryan, thank you very much for the super chat, buddy. £5. It's not much, but helps looking at my face. Cheers, matey. I really appreciate that. Guys, if you do enjoy the show tonight as well, don't forget to smash the likes up for me. And if you're new to the channel, like what you see, please do hit the subscription button. Almost at 3,000 now, not very far away, and just want to keep on growing. And also go and subscribe to Adam Pearson on YouTube as well. I think you've just got over 9,000, haven't you?
About 40 off 9,000 now, so hope
incredible. That's gone up massively lately, so well done, matey. Yeah, go and follow his channel. Great stuff on there. Loads of vlogs and all sorts of stuff on there. Really, really passionate supporter as well. Definitely going to get him more on the channels for match reviews and stuff like that, because he's another guy that speaks from the heart and isn't afraid to speak from the heart, as we've known in the past, Adam.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for keeping our spirits up, Paul. Thanks, Danielle, for the super chat as well. Absolute star. Thank you, everybody. Let's have a look. Leila says, do you think Leeds will go down, finish 9th and go down? No, I don't think Leeds will go down. Thomas says, evening, Paul, and memeless #1 fan. What does he mean by memeless?
Well, I was in memeless' channel like 5 years ago. Like, he's got like 4 million subscribers. I was just
right. Right, get you. Tom says tomorrow is going to be toxic. They will probably be fighting with Leeds fans coming off trains and them coming up early to go on the drink. I normally get the train through to the match, Adam, but I'm a little bit dubious. Maybe he's taking the car tomorrow, because not so much going to the game, but after the game, it's getting back out, getting down to the train station, and there's going to be thousands of Leeds fans getting the train back. So I'm debating whether to just take the car. Parking is, I don't know where to park, though. That's the problem. But it's see, when you've got a situation like this, when there's more Leeds fans going to be there than what normally would be, because obviously we've sold tickets in the home end to Leeds fans as well, so there's going to be thousands of them there. Yeah,
there's going to be scraps tomorrow at some point. Leeds Newcastle, even though it's not a derby, it has that derby feeling, I think, especially in Sunday Middlesbrough not being in the league. And in terms of Leeds tomorrow, I mean, if we concede early on or Leeds score like a last-minute winner, something, you know what's going to happen after the game. You've seen it thousands of times. It's going to be stuff by the way, and it always happen. I mean, he's got to be careful, really. But 99% of those Leeds fans we sound with 100, obviously that 1% of them.
Oh yeah, I mean, I know loads of Leeds fans, and they're all great guys. You know, there's a lot on this channel. Subscribe to me, so you know they are great guys. But like you say, there's always that 1% who have to spoil it for the rest of us. You know what I mean? So I'll have a think about that overnight and in the morning and see what I want to do. Ben says, why are they supposedly meant to be? What are they supposedly meant to be doing at the game for protests? Well, I've heard everything today, from paper aeroplanes, from throwing trainers on the pitch, people taking whistles in. I don't know about how you feel on Adam. I don't think we should disrupt the actual match itself. I'm not into all that. I know that we've got to do something that really sort of pricks up the ears of all the sort of southern bias, the media, all of this kind of thing. We have to make ourselves known, but I'm not sure that disrupting the actual match is going to do anything.
Well, I mean, what do you even do at this point? It's what you can kind of think now, because I don't know what to get Mike Ashley out the door. But in terms of the protest group itself, I've been in close contact with them because they kind of want us to do some videos for them. But yeah, obviously what I've heard of, there's going to be banners, so like the East Stand for the Leazers, where they've got like little banners. So, I mean, that's fair enough. Obviously, that's going to get some TV. So all things instead are going to do that in the 70th minute. Those actual banners are going to make them in the paper airplanes, going to chuck them on the pitch. I mean, they said that, and then obviously the whistles as well. Like every time the ball goes out, they're going to blow a whistle. I mean, yeah, people have their own opinions on it, but I can't say doing much, to be honest. I think it'll get some news coverage, and like obviously like the Chronicle, for example. But in terms of the grand scheme, I think there's nothing really going to change apart from put some extra pressure on Bruce.
Yeah, true. Keith, thanks for the super chat, mate. Really do appreciate that. Thank you. You're an absolute star. You're all stars. Keith says, evening, Paul and Adam. Yorkshire T says, where is John? John's just done a stream, you know, a sort of press conference reaction. And I had to come off it because I was getting seasick. His camera was wobbling all over. I don't know what he's mounted his camera on, but whatever it was like a fishing boat. It was just, but bless him, he does well. He's such a good lad. So he's He's doing a watch along tomorrow night, I believe, as well. Beat says, if we go 2-1 up, Bruce will class that as another win. Remember, lads, we were 20 seconds away from victory. What a bell end. Kevin says, because of the ice bins. I mean, that's got to have an issue. That's got to have an impact, hasn't it? I mean, you know, people actually, you know, when we bring other fans on from other clubs onto streams, they just laugh when we say about the wheelie bins. They just don't believe it.
Oh no! Well, of course you wouldn't. I mean, Newcastle United is such a shambles of a club. Like opposition fans just wouldn't believe it until they see it. That's just what kind of club we are. I mean,
yeah.
You know, I remember a few years ago, I had the pictures on, and all the players are just sitting in a paddling pool like these.
Oh God, yeah.
Pool. Like it's ridiculous. Like honestly, it's so laughable. I honestly just got to laugh at this point because it just gets worse and worse every single week. Of course, obviously, we both already talked about the bar fights a couple of days ago. I mean, it's just an absolute sham.
Well, you did a video on that. I did a video on that as well. I mean, but we both had the same sort of feeling when we did our videos on, because I watched yours and it was just like, you know, everything that comes out of this football club at the minute is negative. We never get up and look on any social media or anything and see really positive news about Newcastle United, do we? It's always got to be negative. You know, whether it be the ownership, whether it be the management, the first team, and now the under-23s. There's just nothing positive coming out of this club right now.
No, but the thing on the 23s is if they win week in, week out, I could forgive it. But they're absolute shit. We lose every single week of that team. We've had about 10 managers. It's Steve Hopper, I don't know who the manager is anymore. But listen, the starting face in the club, right? Listen, I would give my soul to play for those under 23s. And they just couldn't care less, honestly. I don't care. If they started that fight, sacked a lot of them, I couldn't give a shit anymore. They don't deserve to wear the shirt. They're not good enough. It's that simple. It's been a youth squad been neglected for years. I mean, these players, how many of these players you see play for us in the future? The Longstaff's the only one in recent years that have actually made a way into this team. The rubbish, they're absolutely rubbish.
It is a sad state of affairs. And I said on my video that I don't care what age group you're in the academy, you're still representing Newcastle United. So whether it be the under 23s, under 18s, whatever it may be, you're representing that club. You know what I mean? And you just shouldn't. Why go to somebody, a club like that's notorious for, you know, being on Geordie Shore? Why not, if you want to do some sort of team bonding, when you're playing piss poor like you see, Adam, go to a restaurant, talk about it with your fellow players, you know, act in an adult way, or go to a quiet pub somewhere, have a bar meal, then just sit in the corner of the pub somewhere, just have a night out like that. But instead they go to a nightclub that's notorious with that fucking shite Geordie Shore, and then it all kicks off. It's just, you cannot write the script, man. Judy says injuries equals poor coaching, poor fitness, poor training, poor staff, poor facilities. Keith loves that top real class.
Cheers.
It is. It's one of the it's one of the sort of ones that will always be nostalgic for many different reasons. Ryan says, quote, hope to keep us where we are. Steve Bruce. Paul says maybe if they train more than 1 day a week, they wouldn't suffer as many strains. What Newcastle shirt is that? I'm going to buy one. Good luck trying to get your hands on one of them, mate, because they're very hard to come by these days, aren't they?
Oh, they're a joke. I mean, it took me about a year to get a medium one. I had to pay literally 150 quid for some guy new.
Yeah, they're not cheap. Like,
oh, that's a nightmare. But yeah, I eventually got it. That's a good part.
Cool. Nick says the training ground facilities are probably the same as they were in 1995. Try 1965, mate. They ain't changed much. Hard to find that top as it's on eBay for £100 or more. Yeah, exactly. Keith says, can't stand hearing Bruce talk and gets on my nerves. Well, get prepared for more nervous reaction, Keith, because he's coming up shortly. Michael says, we were lucky to get a point against Southampton. His game management is so shit. And Beat says, I wonder what formation and tactics come out of the Thunderbolt tomorrow. Well, God knows, but we'll come on to that. James, good evening. Good evening, Paul. Just finished work, sat in the hot tub, few bottles and a great show ahead. What more do I need? Well, there you go. Perfect Friday night, matey. Nick says back 5 with subs on in the 75th minute. Everybody knows what he does. I mean, if we as fans know exactly what Steve Bruce does, Bielsa's going to have him worked out tomorrow, no doubt about it.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we haven't even changed the formation once this season. Listen, against the likes of Leeds, Man U, yes, I can get a 5-back. But why do we play a 5-back against Southampton at home? That one still pissed me off because that was an easily winnable game. I mean, it was still nearly won the game, but thankfully because of our bottle job players, we couldn't get in the end. But why would we do that? Why we got to play so negative against a team that's obviously going to struggle? To James Paul doesn't make any sense.
Well, nothing Steve Bruce does make any sense to me anymore. Michael says, I'd put Dubravka in the under-23s. No need to rush him if we still have Darlow and Woodman. Chris says, think it will be a close game, but can see Leeds nicking it. I think there'll be goals, definitely goals. I mean, two of the worst defenses in the league at the minute going against each other tomorrow. So I think there will be goals. Paper aeroplanes and maybe a few cabbages thrown in for good measure. He forgot to mention only one team has conceded more. Monumental Bell End. Yep. Michael says, I think it's time to get rid of Dummett. He can't stay fit long enough to make a difference. You see that about a few of the players, though. When is people going to start saying Callum Wilson's another Andy Carroll and all of this? You know what I mean? I watched Malcolm McDonald earlier on, and he was saying about, Callum Wilson and stuff, and saying, and John Gibson as well, talking about the fact that we can't, it's coming back to slap them in the face for not getting a backup striker in. And then talking about Dwight Gale's contract, that he only got that contract basically so we could sell him on. I don't see the point of Dwight Gale being actually in the squad if he's not going to play him. What is the point? He may as well bring one of the kids through. But Malcolm McDonald was quite worried about the Callum Wilson fitness issue, and that he's probably only play a quarter or even half of the games this season.
Well, I'd say most of the players, you can't just say Callum Wilson. Like you said, Dummett's a bad one, Shelby's a bad one, Hayden has really long injuries when he gets injured. Sam Maxon's going to get injured, he is. Just say about the full team. I mean, Mancure's an all really bad one. Obviously, he gets injured with stuck with fucking Kraft, so we've still got quite a few bad ones. But
it is ridiculous, isn't it?
We didn't make the signings. I mean, we could have got some good free signs, and I don't believe this bullshit. We haven't any money one bit. Like Joshua King would have been excellent signs to the club and as a free. I mean, honestly, even Jetcher Williams, again, not injury-prone players, but at least it's some extra legs to put in the team. We are screwed. Dwight Gale is not a fit 5-back. What happens when Joe Linton and Wilson can't play? You've got to put Dwight Gale up front in the 5-back. He's never, ever going to win the ball, because all we do is lump the ball 60 yards. I mean, he's going to have no chance. He plays better when he put the ball in behind.
Is he actually going to be asked as well? You know what I mean? Is he actually going to put everything into it when he's being left out and seeing sort of Joe Linton week in, week out ahead of him? Michael McDonald said go 4-4-2 tomorrow. He's not going to do that, is he? I mean, he wouldn't dare play 4-4-2. He wouldn't actually have the balls. Beats says, Paul, our players are made out of glass. It's bizarre. I suppose that's what happens when you have lots of days off. That's got to have something to do with it. Leicester have scored. Iosi Perez in Europe tonight. Clueless Club, it's been a joke for too long. Ricky says, think we'll be ticking along with another home draw. It's ticking along, fucking hell. Honestly, Leeds will be light at the back, but it won't matter because they'll attack, have 70% possession and win 4-1. Exactly, they'll still have a lot. Congrats, Paul, on almost 3K. Thank you, buddy. Every club Bruce has been to, injury after injury. Adam's a good guy. Love his content too. Keep it up, both of you. Thanks, buddy. Jake says a draw wouldn't be the end of the world for us, but I can see fans getting very nervous if we come back with anything less than a win. I think that's a possibility. Paul, park in Eldon Gardens early on and go for Food Boss. I might try that. Even Paul and Adam, I've taken 5-2 Toon win at 125 to 1 on Sky Bet. God knows why. Do you know what? The thing is, Adam, we could actually see a game like that tomorrow when, 7 or 8 goals simply because of the state of both defences.
Oh, yeah. I think tomorrow will be an absolute thriller regardless of what happens in the game. I mean, both teams are terrible at the back, like you just said. We're going to absolutely go for it. It's going to be a really good game of football, but listen, 5-2, we'll put that down there. Mine was ambitious, but it wasn't quite 5-1.
Yeah. I think my chin didn't have hit the floor when you said your prediction, but then I went just one below you. So everyone will get injured and we will have to play the backroom team. We should do it after the match, not during it. I think there's going to be a lot going on before it as well, from what I'm hearing. I'm all for disruption, but zero violence, says Ryan. Protest at the end of the match. Don't leave and protest. Okay. Got 6 mates coming to my bar tomorrow. 2 of them are Leeds fans, so I'll probably have to fill them both in after the game just to make the experience more authentic. Any news on the Gary Speed tribute? I haven't heard a lot. I did watch 100% Mags the other day, and he said something about the 11th minute. There was an applause. I haven't heard anything like that.
That happened out actually. Some guy in Twitter just said that both teams have so both sets of fans should clap in the 11th minute. Yeah, I've heard that one, but
I think they might. I think they might. This is a must-win, says Wolfzone. Chris says Leeds have great away support.
Yeah.
They're very similar to us in support-wise, taking away fans, Absolutely mental. Did you see Steve Bruce just saying, I hope I could? Yes, we did, Paul, which it's coming up. Joseph says, great work, Adam and Paul. You confident tomorrow? Well, if you go by our score predictions, yes, we are. Big style. However, I'm not sure whether, we've been influenced by sort of, crazy smoke outside or whatever it may be. But Adam's predicted 4-1. I've predicted 3-1, both to Newcastle. And it's just one of them things. It's just one of them feelings you get in Adam. It's just like, it's going to be a crazy game.
Yeah, I do think the win's coming at some point. I think Man U, yes, we made individuals, but you played pretty well in that game for the first half. And I think against Leeds, we'll be up for it Friday night. Yes, the home fans are going to be against the players, but I think the players have got a point to prove because they've been pretty shit so far. So I think the match in terms of a 5-back, I think Leeds will honestly struggle to break with down. And by the way, Leeds have been playing defensively. The likes of St. Max and Almond can push, go alongside the fullbacks. I think we really can't get quite a few goals, but we've got to start off well. The first 10 minutes of this match will decide what the scoreline is going to be because if we start off, we don't play shit, but we start off well, we give it a very good go. And I think 4-1, listen, some people might be surprised. I'm going to go down to the bookies tomorrow and get that on. Listen, Paul, I'll bring it in your vlog where I show the proof because I'm a confident man. I think it's going to happen.
Mate, honestly, there's someone says 3-1 to me, 4-1 to you, obviously. But I just think if Almiron can perform like he did last week, I think there is going to be many gaps in that Leeds defence for us to get through. It's just at the other end that worries me. That Leeds are going to be thinking the same as us. That they've got decent up front, but are we decent up front? I'm not so sure. But I suppose the way Leeds would look at it is we can get it there. Back five if they're playing a back five. The likes of Bamford, Rafinha, others in that team who can do some damage. So. It'd be interesting to see what team he puts out because I know they're missing a lot of defenders.
Well, yeah, obviously that red card didn't get rescinded. I don't know how that didn't happen, but
unbelievable.
I know Joe Linton's only played once since Wilson got injured, but that was against Varane, Maguire, Wan-Bissaka and Shaw, an absolutely world-class defence. Against Leeds, where the goals are leaking at the back constantly, you have a much better game to get involved a lot more. And I think there is a goal on the card for him, like I've said already, but we see how things go, but the defence is a lot easier to break down. I expect the team to have a much better time.
I mean, you know what? I'd honestly love Big Joe to bag a hat-trick tomorrow. I'd just love to see it. Just for Joe's confidence, just for, I mean, I've hammered him. Everybody's hammered him, since he's been here. But, he seems like a likable fella, and you do want to see him do well. I mean, I in all honesty, I don't think he will, but, it would be amazing if something good was to happen like that. Certainly, that's what I'm talking about positivity. A bit of positivity to come out of tomorrow night, something like a Joe Linton hat-trick. It'd be incredible. But, I'm pipe dreaming again. Annie says, ironic because his background is Venice as well. Yes, it was. It was Venice again tonight on his background. He loves Italy, does John. Gallagher Shots, good evening, boys. Fifth game in, and we're talking about must-wins. Rank, isn't it? I think Rank is putting it quite nicely, to be honest. I think we all know what his camera was mounted on, Paul. It's like a selfie stick. We're not getting into that. Ian says, this is a must-win game for us as well. Obviously, a Leeds fan. All my work colleagues are Leeds, and they think this will be a tough game because of defensive players missing. It's going to be one of those games, isn't it? It's going to be end-to-end. But what I'm going to do now is, I've been holding off for this as long as I can. This is the first part of an audio from Steve Bruce today. See what you think.
Alan is entitled to his opinion. That's what he gets paid for. That's what his job is now. Just like all yours is entitled to your opinion. What I will say is there's a lot of people, and especially the players, there's a nucleus of players who have been here a long time. Some have been here 5, 6, 7 years. And the club means something to them. There's a lot of good people who work in the club, who've been here a long, long time, who want the club to do well. And unfortunately, at the moment, we're not doing well enough. And we all understand it's difficult. It is very, very difficult. All the Newcastle fans want to see their team competing like they did at the top end of the table 20 years ago. Unfortunately, at this particular moment, we're not there. So there's the frustration for everybody concerned.
What a fucking bucket of shite. Honestly, I've never heard so much bullshit in all my life. I mean, talking about the fans wanting to be at the top end of the table like we were 20 years ago. No. All we want to see is a fucking team that competes, a team with a bit of fucking ambition, a team that actually tries to win a football game. I mean, Adam, can you believe what absolute shite this bloke comes out with?
Oh, he just talks shit. Why you got to be so condescending? Like, we're not want to be a top 10 team. Listen, we want a team that tries. This team doesn't fucking try, and it's that simple. That cup run, for example, against Burnley, he comes out in the press conference after the game. Oh, we didn't lose against Burnley. Even though we lost in pens, we didn't lose because we knew after 90 minutes. He talks absolute shit. Like, we don't want a team that's going to win trophies. We want a team that attempts to win trophies, and our team doesn't do it because it's not good enough. It's backed by a shit manager, and it's owned by a shit owner. It's that simple. Like, and Steve Bruce just chats absolute shit. He doesn't help himself at all.
I mean, again, that to me is a dig at the fans. You know, the end bit there, talking about the fans want to see us competing at the top end of the table. That is just complete bullshit. And that's just something that the likes of, all his buddies on Talk Sport would come out with, like Simon Jordan, etc. That's exactly the same shit that they say. But he has no clue. He knows damn well that the fans just want to see a team that competes. He's not that stupid. But then he comes out in the media and says that, which again is just like pulling a trigger with the fans. He knows fine well he's going to cause ruction saying that sort of shit. I mean, I don't want to say, yeah, obviously I'd love to see the team at the top end of the table again. But in the meantime, I want to see a team that competes, that tries, that actually doesn't go defensive for 90% of a football game, that actually tries to have a cup run and things like that, Adam.
Of course, I mean, what have we got to be excited for? Does fuck all be excited for? What, staying up? Like, is that what we've got to be excited for this part? I mean, it's embarrassing. I mean, this club is an absolute shit show. We deserve better. Newcastle, obviously, I don't want to be big-headed, but we are a massive club. We are the ninth most successful team in English football. We deserve better than this. We're not a team that's a fucking yo-yo club or a relegation battle. We're better than that. And the manager wants to come out and say that, we're good enough to stay where we are now. What? We're in the fucking bottom three now, so I don't know what you're on about. I mean, it baffles me. That's obviously the next part of the interview, but yeah, it's just ridiculous. He doesn't help himself at all, and he wonders why people slag him off. Well, there's a reason why, Steve. He's so absolute shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's no wonder that the local media are getting on his back now, and he's starting to crack all over the place. There's cracks appearing. Everybody thinks, he's thick-skinned and all of this crap. Not now. It is getting to him, and it's getting to him big style. And tomorrow night, when he takes to that pitch after, yet again insulting the fans, because that's what it was. It was an insult to the fans. Because the fans aren't stupid. The fans know what they want. The fans know the situation the club's in. And with management, ownership, player-wise, etc. But we still want to see a team that will actually compete and a little bit of ambition. That's what we want at the moment. Yes, if we got a takeover, blah, 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 everything could be, everything could go, explode and we could be up the table, signing big players. That's a pipe dream for us fans at the minute. But what's not is to have a decent manager who respects the club and respects the fans. He's not talking like a Newcastle fan there, Adam.
But he's not a Newcastle fan, is he? All he does is kiss Man U's arse all the time. I mean, he's a Man U legend. He's not a Newcastle legend. He's only came back to Newcastle because he was born there. He couldn't give a shit about Newcastle. Like, what incentive he got to support Newcastle? He has nothing. Like, he has no background of it. He's never been in the club before. He's managed his best years as a manager was at fucking Sunderland. So, like, what proof of Newcastle fan is he? What, because he was born there, or because he lives in Hebron, or he went to the Buffs and Wars End? There's no reason he's a Newcastle fan. There's absolutely nothing to back him being a Newcastle fan. It's that simple. He's a Man U legend and a Sunderland manager. That's what he is. He's not a Newcastle fan. He's
a cock. Anthony says the club is rotten from top to bottom. It's a joke. I think our defence could be in for a hard night. The two worst defences currently should be it should be goals galore. Chris says Bruce will be having cabbage stew for tea tomorrow night. Do you think when we're going to the ground tomorrow night that we're going to be searched a bit more rigorously? Will they have instructions to do that?
I don't know, to be honest. I would assume so, because obviously the big match is Friday night, and especially when the sort of levels of animosity start to grow more and more, you would think that, to get a little word about it. But as you said before, they're getting Sunderland strats and Sunderland staff in tomorrow, so they're obviously improving on getting more strats, and so they're obviously intimidated by the protests and the fans coming for the game. But yeah, I personally don't think there's going to be a bit more like better checks them all, really, because you know for a fact in the next couple of games, I'd be a fan to go on the pitch and they'll try and do something. It's just going to happen, you know it is.
Yeah, you do. Nick says, if we did somehow get rid of Bruce, which I can't see happening, who would we want in? Look, that's a conversation for after the fact, to be honest. I mean, we can talk about, managers coming in all we want once we know that Steve Bruce is gone. But at the minute, it's pointless because Bruce said he's going nowhere. He's not going to walk. He's made that quite, well, a firm statement today during the press conference that he's not walking. I did have to laugh when he said he hasn't walked away from any job. Well, yes, you have, Steve. Quite several, actually. But, when you've had 11 clubs in 22 years, that just says how good of a manager you are, mate. But he's not going to leave, so he's got to be sacked at the end of the day. So, whether Ashley's got any plans to do that, God only knows. What is next? Bruce and the team on drugs? Wouldn't surprise us. We will play 3 centre-backs, and really all they have to mark is Bamford. Only Burnley play with 2 up top as such. Yeah, but you look at Jamal Lascelles, right? You look at his defending. He is captain, and he will not push this defensive line up the field. We should be 15, 20 yards further up. You watch tomorrow night how deep we are. And that's how teams can get round us.
Well, that's just how the team's instructed by the manager. That's it. Everyone get back, defend, but try and play for no, get a last-minute scruffy goal, but yeah, Lascelles obviously should be complaining. He should be doing a bit more on the pitch. Obviously, his performances aren't living up to the kind of player he once was. That's the same. I think a lot of people underperforming on Steve Bruce. Sean Longstaff's a massive example. On the wrapping, he has 7 or 8 games played. Honestly, I was comparing with the bloody Michael Carrick. I had serious hope for him. He was valued at a £50 million player. Under Steve Bruce, honestly, I would fucking loan him out to a Scottish team. He's crap. He's absolutely crap. Jamal Lewis, Ryan Fraser, 2 players that are really good at their former clubs. They've done nothing for this club so far. Yep. And there's so many different players you can call out and say that, a few years ago, a lot better. But they're doing bugger all because the ambition's crap. The manager's crap. Where's the motivation from? There's nobody motivating the back. There's no one pulling the strings. The players have got to pull their own strings, and they can't do it because they're not leaders. It's that simple. They're football players. There's no leader out there to try and guide.
So many players have gone backwards under Bruce. It is absolutely unbelievable. Sean Longstaff's passing. I mean, Jesus, it is even the simple, 5-6 yard passes. He's kicking it out of play and stuff like that, or he's passing it straight to the opposition. It's just like, he just doesn't seem switched on. Interesting one here from Dale. He says, hey, Paul, hey, Adam. Adam, could I ask if you would block my comments for having a joke on your lockdown hair?
I mean, if it was only a joke about my hair, I wouldn't have blocked that. I mean, unless he said someone else, but... Listen, I was bold during lockdown, obviously, because I just. I did what you. I've seen your lockdown hair. It's very, very different to how he looks now, guys. Oh, yeah. Paul says apparently Bielsa's been studying Bruce's tactics by watching old reruns of Wigan. Carl says the ticking along comment for me is like a caretaker manager saying he will keep it ticking along till someone else comes in. That's exactly the thoughts I had. Sturridge on a free. Well, it's pointless because we can't bring anybody in now. We've named the squad. It's pointless till January now. Ben says Steve Bruce at centre-back. I'll stick him in goal. We'll struggle to score past that wide berth. Steve Bruce will be getting this tomorrow night. And did you hear what he said today? Yes. James says, totally agree, Adam. Youth setup not being good for years. Other Premier League clubs, you will always see one lad coming through each season or at least given a chance. Would you give Stevenson a chance up top? I mean, I don't know much about the guy. I know he's been scoring quite a bit in the youth squad, but a guy like Solskjaer was doing that. And I mean, I think we gave him one game once. He just did nothing. Like Aaron Campbell, Adam Armstrong, these sort of players did be really good in the youth squad. And when they eventually got the call to Newcastle, they couldn't crack it. But I mean, we haven't got much worse, to be fair. So I mean, if Joe Layton does nothing more, I mean, screw it, why not give him a chance? But
does it do any harm? Does it do any harm to actually try one of these kids? You know what I mean?
But I mean, let's be honest, the youth team kind of sucks anyway, so you might as well give them a chance. If it doesn't work for them, I mean, I don't know what to say. I haven't been watching the youth squad, but I mean, we've got nothing else to do, have we?
Well, exactly. Up the mag says, sexy Adam, you got a fan there, mate. Keep us ticking along. Well, Bruce, nothing wrong with the crazy smoke. I'm looking forward to playing Sunderland and Middlesbrough next season. Good evening, trolls. ASM will be doubled up on for sure. Will be hard to get him in the game, I reckon. Well, I mean, they're obviously going to double up on our flair players without a doubt. Well, flair player, I should say, unless Miggy performs tomorrow. Depending on goalkeeper, I think 4-2 to Wiss if Darlow plays. Well, I like your confidence, Judd. 4-4 I'm going for. Mistakes from both teams, keeping errors and red cards. Then I woke up, but can see it happening very open game. You might not be wrong there, mate. Wolves are very attacking now, says Craig. I think he's a Wolves fan, actually. Woodman players could be 4-2 Leeds. Why isn't Bruce giving any youngsters a chance, given the lack of signings and injuries? Because he doesn't trust them. And to be fair, they haven't been really performing anyway as to get a start. So, you know, it's one of them things. What crack have you been smoking? Phillips dominating midfield. Miser is a better goalkeeper. And Rafinha and Bamford, we are going to get wiped. Yeah, listen. These were premonitions that came to us in the middle of our sleep, right? Adams obviously had some sort of, I don't know what the word is. He's had some sort of crazy dream. So have I. I've pictured Joe Linton getting a hat-trick. I don't know why, but you know what? If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. Dreams are there to be made. Hope Darlow plays. Adam, you're a legend.
Yes.
I think there will be plenty of goals. Not a chance we score 4, says Simon. Leeds will probably put Ayling at centre-back, as he's played there before. Yeah, I presume they will. Will Joelin ever become a bloody striker? He will if he gets a hat-trick tomorrow. But I can't see it. Ginger says, Klitsch will drop to centre-back. Joe Linton did well in the air for a chance against Man U. It's not so much creating chances with Joe Linton, it's taking them at him.
Yeah. I mean, let's be real with Joe Linton. We're not going to sell Joe Linton. Nobody on this planet wants Joe Linton, so we're going to be stuck with him for another few seasons. We just got to hope he turns good eventually. I know, obviously, West Ham, they signed Haller the same season we signed Joe Linton. He was a complete flop for West Ham. You had Ajax, he's actually looked really good. Scored 4 goals yesterday in the Champions League.
He did. He turned it
so
around.
we stick by Joe Linton. Maybe eventually he starts playing good, because even though he did struggle, like, you saw that little chop against Southampton. He does have like little moments in the game where you feel like he's actually a good player, but it's that consistency and the finishing which he hasn't got. And that's why he's obviously a flop for £40 million striker.
Yeah. Father Snowman said about the under-23s, any fines issued out. There's been nothing said about that since the report came out. It's my birthday tomorrow, says Taylor. Hoping for the best. Predicting a 3-1 Toon win with Maxi, Joe and Willock to score. I like your thinking. Joe Linton isn't a footballer, let alone a striker, says Anthony. Get that cabbage off. I think I will be sick. Paul, you should give a 5-minute Bruce warning so we don't have to listen to that voice at this time of night. Sorry, guys. I detest that piece of crap. Hope Darlow plays. Adam, you're legendary. I think you've got a fan in up the mags there, mate. He's a big fan of yours.
Hi, Jez, mate. Appreciate it.
Chris says, Bruce has a cauliflower nose on a cabbage head. Jake says, what a patronising dickhead. Exactly. Steve's a little teapot, short and stout, opens his mouth and shit comes out, says Anthony. Judd says, a team with more ambition than 5th round of cups. A team not led by the worst manager in the game. How about that? Exactly. Well, I may as well play this little last bit now. God help us, because it'll just anger me again. But this is I think it's about 9 seconds of pure bullshit from Steve Bruce.
I will, with my experience, hope that I can keep the club just ticking along and make sure that that the club stays where it is.
Fuck me. I mean, literally, hit me with a fish. Honestly, this guy, I mean, I'd rather have a shave with a rusty razor. You know what I mean? It's just, I can't believe what he just said there. You know, it's my job with all my experience to keep this club ticking over. Adam, say something. I'm just bewildered by that.
Ticking over? We're a fucking game in 5. We're 1-4 in the league. We lost against Burnley in the cup. What do you mean ticking over? We're in the bottom 3. Like, what do you expect us to do? Like, we are fucked. We are absolutely fucked. This is the manager that's supposed to get us out of the bottom 3. He's lost it. He's absolutely lost the plot. Like, does he even know what's going on anymore? He's so old. Get him out of the game. He's not good enough. Get him out of the fucking game. I've had enough of him. Steve Bruce, I mean, he's absolutely lost it now. I mean, there's no forgiving him. I don't get it, because you know it's every single week that the press and the fans are going to slag him off. So why would he say something as stupid as that? Like, he's obviously going to get slagged off now.
Yeah, exactly. Stephen says, sorry, mate, had to mute that Steve Bruce audio as I can't stand listening to that monumental bell end. Leeds, Villa, West Ham, Everton all aspire to achieve more than their target. Soon as Newcastle fans aspire, we get shit for it by pundits saying we want too much. Competitive sports, so fucking compete. Exactly. Derek says it's only difficult for players when they have a bell end of a trainer like you. Keith says, all we ask for is to see decent football, not a lot to ask for. Exactly. We don't, it's not like we want to, these pundits are saying we want to be in Champions League shit. We just want decent football. Kevin says, if Norwich get a point and we take a hammering, we'll be bottom. Who've Norwich got this weekend?
I don't actually know.
I haven't a clue. Where does he think the goals will come from with Wilson injured? Willock's comments last year summed Bruce up. He told me to run around and try and score. Fucking brilliant, Steve. Well worth 2.75 million a year. Useless prick. Dino says those comments from Bruce just show how distant he is from the fans and the city, and this is a man from the area. Doyle him. Fans get on Bruce's back from the minute you enter till you leave. I think there's a possibility that'll happen. Bruce is a man pretending, lying, stealing, get him gone. We're a top 10 team with a National League manager. I mean, you look at the possible starting 11. I've got one here, right? This is my starting 11 for tomorrow, and this is just based on. This isn't the formation I want to play or anything like that. This is based on what I think he'll do tomorrow. Darlow in goal, Manquillo if he's fit on the right hand side, Charles, Lascelles and Fernandez. I think he won't put Hayden back there after the mistake last week. Not Hayden's mistake, I mean Bruce's mistake to put him there. Richie on the left again, Willock, Hayden, Almiron, Joe Linton, ASM. Obviously, it won't be two up front. ASM will be further back with Joe Linton leading the line. I don't know what you think of that team, Adam, but I can't see him making many differences to that team.
Well, yeah, that'll be probably the team you play. Maybe one or two changes there. Maybe Lewis instead of Richie, but that team will pretty much what he plays tomorrow. But I mean, there's just so many players out of position already. We bought Matt Ritchie as a right midfielder. Yeah, he's still playing left back. Yes, he's not the worst left back I've ever seen, but he makes mistakes. He's sloppy. Angwon is not a fucking centre midfielder. I've said this every single time. He's much better on the wing. You saw him against Man U, the amount of space he has to run with the ball to actually get it towards the box. I mean, it's a joke. He ran about 80 yards with the ball before he got a goal. I mean, he's not a midfielder. Willock, we put him way too deep. I think Willock's best is a number 10 behind the striker. But again, he's out of position. But we're expecting him to score 10 goals this season when he's not even playing his position. It baffles me. It absolutely baffles me. I mean,
he looks lost, Willock, at the minute, doesn't he? I mean, he looks lost because, that chance he had at Man United last week, a real switched on Willock would have pulled that back for Almiron. He would have known that Almiron was cutting in behind him. And rather than, lash it like that, he would have been more productive, in my opinion. But it's because he's not quite being allowed to get in the positions that he was last season because he's having to do a completely different job.
But of course, I mean, Joe, like I said last season, he plays as a number 10. When he's so far back in the line, so far back in the team, he knows for a fact that's the only chance he's going to get in the match. So yes, it's going to be absolutely shit when he takes it. It's that simple. And then, unfortunately, for a guy like Joe Willock, people in the media or people in the press are going to say, he's had a total patch last season, but he hasn't. He's getting played out of position and he's got to put up with it. Even against Man U, even though people might have said, he might have had a bad game, the stats prove he was pretty good in that match at times. And it's sad to say because Joe Willock's a really talented player and he can do something with his team, but we don't blame him.
I mean, I don't understand why he doesn't try a 4-2-3-1 because the players that we have actually available, they're the positions that would suit the players that are available to him. You know what I mean? It's like you look at playing a 4-2-3-1. You could play anything you want. You could have ASM left or right. You could have Almiron left or right. You could have Willock bursting through. You could have two proper midfielders. It makes no sense why he doesn't play a formation that he's got the players to play with.
Well, what benefits do you get from a 5 at the back? They've conceded the most goals in this league. Norwich are just short of us, but they played Man City, they played Liverpool, they played Arsenal, Leicester. We played mediocre teams at times. I mean, what benefits do we get? We are absolutely rubbish at defence, so why do we play a 5 back? Why not play a team with actual 4 defenders? Because we'll probably be more defensive playing an attacking formation because we're constantly going at them and not letting the team like Southampton have about 80% possession with the ball. It doesn't make any sense because we are good getting forward, so why do we not allow our team to get forward? But instead, we sit back and we hope, and that's obviously stupid because you can't defend. So what's the point of defending? Like, it doesn't make any fucking sense.
I mean, to be fair, Leeds are going to come out at us tomorrow from the word go. Yeah. Bielsa's going to have them on the go from the off. We know how Leeds play. They're very, very attacking. I've said earlier on in the week, I think that they remind me of how we were under Keegan. You score 3, we'll try and score 4. That's the way Bielsa plays. He's not going to change that. Leeds fans, 1 minute they'll be complaining they're getting beat 6-1. The next minute they'll turn somebody over 5-0. That's how it was under Keegan as well. But it was exciting, you know what I mean? And that's the difference. And I think if Leeds come out with that kind of attitude tomorrow, regardless of the injuries, we've got to be ready for that. And my worry is that we're not going to be, Adam.
Yeah, and in terms of the 5-back, there's some exceptions. That like some man who leaves obviously play a 5-back in those games, but the truth is, we don't change tactics ever. You think every week that we actually look at the opposition, go, Bielsa plays an attacking style of football. Let's try and get a defensive-minded team. No, he just plays the same shit every single week. I bet he has it written down on a piece of paper. He puts that exact same piece of paper on the board every week. Do you think Steve Bruce actually revises or he watches football matches and say, this is how Man U plays, this is how Southampton plays? No, he doesn't. He just goes, we play 5 at the back and what happens, happens. He doesn't care. He doesn't watch the games. Honestly, the fact that he's a millionaire and he's getting millions of pounds in his football club is a farce because he doesn't do his job.
Yeah, I mean, Mike, Leeds Academy, Leeds Fan Channel, good evening to you. Pleased you've joined us, mate. ASM and Willock are our only hope against Leeds. Well, Miggy might be as well. If Miggy performs like he did at Old Trafford, I'm quite confident that we can get something. Cheers, Mike. I really appreciate that. I'll go and drop your channel a subscription after the show, buddy. Thanks very much. Rafinha and Ayling versus Richie. Could be a difficult night for Richie. Judd says, God, please don't play it, Paul. Sorry, I already have, mate. I'm sorry to destroy everyone's eardrums tonight, but you know what it is. Hey, we've got to discuss it. What excuses will Bruce give after the Leeds game? Oh, fucking hell. Craig says he talks shit. Yeah. I mean, it will be. If we lose tomorrow, it'll be the normal stuff, Adam. There was positives from the game. Unfortunately, we just didn't do enough in certain areas, and we couldn't see the game through.
Oh, well, we lost 5-0 this today, but it's all right. We start the match with those no, so we're in the game at that point. He's just going to talk absolute rubbish. I mean, it doesn't matter what the score is going to be more. Listen, we could win 10-0 more and he still would talk absolute shit about the team. In fact, if we could even win 10-0 more and he still say that, Newcastle didn't play well, or he just undermined the team. I've never, ever seen Steve Bruce praise this team. He always undermines that squad. How are those players going to be confident and motivated for a game when Steve Bruce goes, remember Sheffield United last year, actually, a team that haven't won a single game, about 20 or so, and he goes, it's going to be a very tough match. What? It doesn't make any sense, and they've actually went on to lose the game as well. But yeah, I mean, what confidence these players got going into the game? We just undermines them all the time. It's so frustrating with this now. Yeah,
well, do you know what it is? I said a few weeks ago on one of my shows that, from my point of view, if I had a manager like that as my ice hockey coach, right, and he had that kind of attitude and went into games talking about the opposition like he does, I wouldn't want to play for him. I would be completely deflated. And then when he's trying to G you up in the dressing room and think, well, why? You think this guy or this team is much better than us? What chance do we fucking stand against, this opposition today when you've been talking them up from the word go in your press conferences? It's got to flatten the players. And then we wonder why they don't come out for matches motivated.
Well, yeah. Why put a disadvantage to the team before we can kick the ball on the pitch? That doesn't make any sense. I don't understand it. And people criticize me. Here in interviews, here in pundits, people say this stuff, and he still does it. Like, why you got to keep putting yourself down in that grave? He's digging his own grave, and he's still doing it. Like, why he stopped doing it? And he just won't. I don't know what it is. I don't know if he's stuck to his ways or he's just deluded or what. But he won't change, and he never will change. So why keep him as a manager?
Exactly. Carl, good evening. Says, why is it the 70th minute for the paper aeroplanes?
There was something to do with how long it took for the Premier League to get back to us about to take a while, something like that. I don't know what exactly.
Right, yeah. Bruce needs a psychological examination. Gary says, stay where we are. Newsflash, Paul, we're in the bottom 3. Exactly. Taking us along in the bottom 3, Steve. Fucking masterful stroke, you fat bastard. Thomas says, naughty boy, Paul, don't turn on Bruce ever again or I'll need an ambulance. Jack came up today from Bristol, staying at the Granger Hotel, Paul. Hope to see you tomorrow by the stadium. I'll have green kit with Joe Linton on the back. Joe Linton on the back, right? You'll be easy to spot them because there ain't many of them kicking about. Judge says, Watford. Bruce is a former defender. You can't get us to stop letting goals in. That's what I don't understand. He was a mainstay centre-back under Alec Ferguson, and he can't get us to defend.
He's actually a world-class defender, Superman. He was really good for them. But, yeah, as a manager, I mean, he's had one Premier League player, manager of the month, ever, and it was last season when he cancelled. That's the manager. He's been around for 20 years. He's useless. What's the best he's ever had? He bottled a 2-0 lead once in the FA Cup final. That's all he's done. He's absolutely useless.
Yeah. James says, I couldn't resist. Big Joe hat-trick, 125-1. Hoyd a pound on. If it wins, let's donate to the food bank. Spot on, matey. Well done, James. But I do want a commission of that as well. Our goals will come from one of our 6 strikers. Lloyd says, free Elliot Anderson. I believe he's back in training as well, Adam. So, well, will he be even on the bench? I don't know.
Nah, I don't think so, to be honest. I think he'd be in the 23 still. I know Dylan Stevens has got to call up, but Elliot Anderson, I can't remember if he was injured or not, but he wasn't playing for some reason for quite a bit of time, so I think he'll be trying to get him back in the 23, especially how shit they're playing.
Yeah. Mike says, score prediction, guys. Well, you'll be shocked, Mike, because Adam said 4-1 to Newcastle, and I said 3-1 to Newcastle as well. So you're welcome to come back on future shows and absolutely rip the piss out of us if it goes really backwards for us tomorrow. We both can't really explain why we've gone for them predictions. It just... if we can't be positive, then I'm sorry, we've got now to go on at the minute. We may as well have a laugh trying to predict a Newcastle win. Wiki says we can't have Dubravka injured too long. Thomas is going 2-1 Leeds. We will be bottom after the Leeds match. They aren't playing great, but will beat us. I think Norwich are playing Watford. So that's a chance for them because Watford look awful as well, by the way. So, Watford, Norwich are getting players back slowly after their COVID stuff. So, I don't think they've been at full strength this season, but I still think Norwich will go down, don't get me wrong, but they've got a chance against Watford. Almiron's run against Man United is a slither of what he can do. Why can't Steve just play him in his position, for fuck's sake, so we can get him involved in the attacking side? We've been crying out for that. We will be playing Mackems next season and the Borough. This is Joshua's team. He's going to keep Woodman in goal. Richie, Manquillo, Lascelles, Shah, Fernandez, Willock, Almiron, Hayden, ASM, and Gale. 2-1 to Newcastle. Almiron and ASM to score. Come on, Newcastle. I don't think you play Gale. If Gale hasn't come off the bench yet this season, I can't see him just being... actually, then again, I could actually see Steve Bruce just saying, right, I'm just chucking you right into the deep end straight away.
Yeah, Steve was someone surprised, but... I can't play Woodman after that performance against Man U. I think it will honestly be professional suicide playing him. He'd be absolutely... His confidence would be gone if he concedes those against Leeds.
Yeah. Ted said this is a must-win game for both teams, and Leeds are awful currently. Now or never for Newcastle. Leeds were so bad at home versus Liverpool. The crowd was silent. Yeah, but Liverpool are playing well this season. It's a must-win tomorrow, says Lloyd. Yeah, 5th game of the season, and it's a must-win. That's how bad we are at the minute. Leeds man marks, so they won't double up on ASM. That's not what they do. When are the players going to stand up and tell Bruce where to go? They're all cowards. I mean, we've already heard, Callum Wilson with the statement at the start of the season when he was interviewed, bigging up Graham Jones and saying how good he was, and pretty much saying that Steve Bruce is absolutely shite. I mean, that's what I got from that Callum Wilson interview, and he's not the first player to really say that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've heard anyone apart from Shelby say congrats to Bruce or anything. I mean, I still can't believe that Shelby won, by the way. He had no reason to say it. He was going, Steve was the best manager I've played for. Like, fuck off, Shelby.
Yeah. Apparently, Wolves have had 71 shots in 4 games, said Craig.
No, 71 shots against us in 4 games.
Against us?
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Ryan says, well said, Adam. Bruce being millionaire makes me sick. Fart Goggles, that's a very interesting name. Shocking that our only hope of winning a game is their whole backline getting injured. If Rodrigo plays, he will win as not a centre midfielder. Phillips will be key tomorrow. In Bielsa we trust, says Robbie. Carl says, I can make a decent aeroplane. I reckon I could get it over the stand from my level 7 Milburn stand.
Try and hit Bruce. Try and get it.
Yeah, Bruce. That's what we're trying to do. With all of Steve Bruce's experience, he has fuck all to show for it. He has no loyalty to any club he's managed. Let's face it, he's getting on. He wants easy money. Yeah. This game is playing tomorrow or today. It's tomorrow. 8 o'clock kickoff. In Bruce, we hate. Norwich play Watford. Paul says a manager in any industry should lead, inspire, and motivate. I've seen no evidence that Bruce does any of those things. Ryan says if Steve Bruce was a hockey coach, the game plan would be to ice the puck. Yeah, probably not a lot of ice hockey people know about that. It's class, this lot. You've got a shit manager and a shit owner. Nothing will change till they go, says Haz. Totally agree. Love it when Stevie Raythorne Pearson was a classic moment. Had to throw that one in there. Listen, that's all gone, right? Everybody's had opinions on everybody else, so whatever. This is my channel. Thank you very much. Ginger says 5-2 to Leeds. Also, he'd be playing like he's trying to defend a power play for 3 periods and hope for shootout after overtime. Yeah, he tried that against Burnley. It didn't work. Elaine says, Adam, good lad, but looks like he wants to put his Spider-Man mask on, sit on top of Leeds tomorrow, spinning webs behind Newcastle's goal. Yeah, it does look like with the collar on that shirt, it looks a bit like the Spider-Man costume.
Oh, I suppose so, yeah. I mean,
I've never thought of it that way until Elaine's just said it, but there you go. 5-4 Leeds says Has. Jack says 3-2 with a Joe Linton hat-trick. People are starting to back me on that, mate. I'm starting to see a lot of Joe Linton hat-tricks. I hope you're both right. Hey, we will be. A few more comments just before we end. Think the Mags will get a right stuffing and beat by 3 goals and going down without a doubt. SAFC, says Thomas. Well, welcome to a Newcastle channel, Thomas. Obviously, you want a bit of entertainment. Will Bruce be able to handle the atmosphere of St James's Park? It might become extremely toxic if we are losing. I hope it does become very toxic if we're losing. I just hope that we're not losing. That's the thing. Great stream. Keep it up. Great content. Cheers, buddy. Love Bruce. Yes, Mike Sack loves Bruce. We know that. What's your opinion on Steve Bruce saying we fans can expect Newcastle 20 years ago? Yeah, we've been through that. And Steve Bruce can fuck off as far as I'm concerned with that comment. Great show. Have to go. Sorry. See you later. Cheers, Josh. Malcolm says, I have a bad feeling about tomorrow. I think it's all going to kick off. And yet again, we're going to get castigated. Ted says, wishing for new ownership group with Shearer. Yeah, Wolves have had 71 shots as well this season. I thought I'd read something about that. They just can't put it in the net. Stephen says, must win tomorrow. Need 4 points from our next 2 games. Great show says, Trolls. Mike Sachs, shut up. Bruce is a cabbage. Why are you disrespecting Bruce? I'm not even going to get into that. Adam, thanks very much for joining us, buddy. Really, really appreciate it. Certainly love to get you on the show a bit more, on the channel a bit more, matey. And certainly with reviews and fan forums and stuff, because you don't hold back with your thoughts, and that's what I like on this channel. Obviously, I don't wear my heart on my sleeve like it's supposed to be done. But thanks for coming on, matey, and I'll catch you tomorrow night.
I appreciate it, mate. I'll see you tomorrow night. I'll pop up and see you. Take
care, bud. So that was Adam there. Obviously, I'll catch up with Adam tomorrow night. Thank you to everybody that's put the comments in tonight regarding, team lineups, etc. And thank you to everybody that's put a super chat in. I really, really do appreciate that. Very, very kind of you. I don't know what to expect tomorrow night, if I'm honest. Yeah, I've said 3-1 Newcastle win. There's no optimism in me at all. I have to be honest. I'm just not optimistic of anything tomorrow. But I'm hopeful that I go to St James's Park and get surprised, and we actually get 3 points and get this season kicked off. It's what I want to see, but whether I'll see it or not, I don't know. It could be a very difficult review that I do on Saturday of the game. So keep an eye out for that over the weekend. I'll be doing it on Saturday morning. So it should be out round about Saturday lunchtime or something like that, the review of the game. Next live show will be on Monday night, which is the 4 Horsemen of the Toon. Me and John, and plus 2 other guests that I'm going to get on. And Tuesday night, again at 8 p.m, will be the Fan Forum Live. So come and join me live on the show and have your say regarding the Leeds game. But let's keep fingers crossed. Let's go. Let's see what happens tomorrow. If there's any protests, let's not get into any violence or anything like that. Just have your say, do what you have to do, but let's not get violent. It doesn't work. And certainly when there's young kids at the game and things like that, it's not what we want to see. So let's all stay safe and just enjoy the game as best we can. That's the most important thing. If you have enjoyed the show tonight, guys, please don't forget to smash the likes up for me. And if you're new to the channel, you like what you see, please don't forget to consider subscribing. Really, really trying to really build this channel now. So with your help, I'll be able to do that. But that's it from the match preview. Enjoy the game if you're going to it tomorrow night, and have a fantastic weekend, people. And I'll see you back on Monday night for the live show. Keep an eye out over the weekend for the match review. Take care, guys. Be strong.